How good it is for me to hear Canticle 16 being spoken by this community in this place. The word canticle means song. This song is from the Gospel of Luke and is attributed to the priest Zechariah, who is also John the Baptist's father. Zechariah and his wife were old and had no children. An angel appeared to Zechariah and told him his wife Elizabeth would give birth to a son who would prepare the way for the coming of God. He was told to call the child John. Zechariah was fearful, doubted, and had a lot of questions. For this reason, his voice was stopped. Not being able to speak means one must listen and ponder. When the child was born and presented for circumcision, the community present asked Zechariah, "What will be his name?" Surely they thought the child would be named after Zechariah. Elizabeth said the child's name would be John. The people were perplexed as there were no Johns in the family tree. Not willing to take Elizabeth's word for it, they turned to Zechariah, who took hold of a tablet and wrote the name John. As soon as he had written that name, his voice was unstopped. And after 9 months of silence, he gives birth to the song we recited today. It bursts forth with joy and wonder as it spills out in front of the gathered community. God was finally coming to set things right for the people of Israel, and Zechariah's son would be the one to prepare the people's heart for the coming. I can imagine Zechariah picking up his new child, cradling him in his arms as he says, "You, my child, shall be called the prophet of the Most High, for you will go before the Lord to prepare his way, to give his people knowledge of salvation by the forgiveness of sins." The moment of this song is bittersweet for us because we know how John's life ends. I imagine, too, the parents who recently lost their children this week, who, when they were just babies, cradled them and imagined their future. I mourn the loss of innocence for our youth who should be making memories rather than tears. Oh Lord, each time the clouds begin to disperse to let the sun shine in, some new cloud begins to descend. For most of us gathered here in this place, we are carrying broken hearts, shock, and fear. We may be feeling burdened with a desire to comfort, and we ache because we don't know how to help. While the song of Zechariah strives to give us comfort, it acknowledges the presence of shadows, death, and places where peace is scarce. We hear the words, "In the tender compassion of our God, the dawn from on high shall break upon us to shine on those who dwell in darkness and in the shadow of death, and to guide our feet into the way of peace." If this song is to be our song of hope today, how can we lift our heads high enough to see through the darkness and despair? There is another song given to us in the Gospel of Luke that reminds us of John's purpose. He is to prepare the hearts of the people so that they can perceive and receive the incarnate song of God. Despite the darkness that has pervaded all of history, that song has held strong, giving hope in even the harshest of times. slaves who sang songs of a heavenly and earthly place where freedom and equality exist. The man who lost his wife and children to the sea, who wrote the famous hymn, "It is well with my soul." The thousands of martyrs who sang hymns to God in the gladiator pits. The psalmist who wrote of his aching and withering body and yet acknowledged the presence of God. The German and English soldiers of World War I who laid down their weapons to sing Silent Night together. History has shown that it is in times of darkness that people lift their heads to sing songs of hope. Yet these songs also acknowledge the surrounding despair. As I was driving home in the dark this week, thinking about all that has happened, I heard this song by Richard Walters called "Falling." It reminded me that even in darkness and fear, there is still beauty and a purpose for us all. So in the tradition of singing songs of hope in the darkness, I hope you will bear with me as I offer this song. Don't be afraid of falling. Don't fear where you may land. It's what you're here to do. It's part of your big plan. You're thrown from side to side. You're moving much too fast. You circle, swirl, and float. How long must this fall last? Open your eyes and you'll see how beautiful this world can be. Look at the lights in the trees and the city falling fast asleep. Everyone has somewhere they're meant to be for somebody. And now you've seen the other. You know you're not alone. You laugh and dance together here in this unknown. Open your eyes and you'll see how beautiful this world can be. Look at the lights in the trees and the city falling fast asleep. Everyone has somewhere they're meant to be for somebody. This is your place. This is your place. You found a way to stop falling. You found a way to stop falling. This is your place. This is your place. Together as Christ's body and gathered in this place, we are God's new song, acknowledging the darkness, but capturing and releasing light into the world through our prayers, our listening ears, and the songs of love we offer to those who really need to feel loved. May God bless you as you carry God's song into the world. Amen.